Good morning, and welcome to another episode of Talk That Tech. The
Number one tech morning show in the world, baby. Good
yeah,
morning.
good morning, and I feel like we need another day to recover from the weekend.
Definitely. Like, that would be amazing. But I
listen,
got to get back to it.
that might spark a conversation today that we could definitely dive into. But y'all, if y'all are listening and tuning in, let us know where you're tuning in from. We definitely want to hear from you, and definitely want to hear like how what plans you have as we officially are in summertime. Graduation season is pretty much over for high
Ooh.
schoolers, those in college and stuff like that. And so we want to hear from you. What are the things that are going on in your neck of the woods? What are your plans for the summer? Are you planning to go barbecue in July 4th? Are you planning to get away? What are you planning to do? Feel free if you want to click the link and you could drop on the show, come on the show, I should say, and be able to share what is going on in your world. So we would love to hear from you and hear what's going on there. Yeah, man.
No,
It
that's a
is,
fact.
yeah. It is a fact. Yeah, man. But how was your weekend before we get into it?
Bro, my weekend was solid, man. You ever see those weddings on like TV and stuff where I mean it just everything is right, it's perfect. They're doing all the stuff, big everything.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, well, I finally got a chance to go to one of those, and it did not disappoint, man. I was like, wow, so this is what those look like. But yeah, we flew out to Ohio. Ohio is where the wedding was, but we flew out Friday, and we had to fly into Detroit. And this guy I watch on YouTube, he was pointing out, he lives in Detroit, and he was looking over the skyscrapers and stuff, and he was pointing out how close Canada was. And this was like a couple weeks ago. I had no clue. So I just happened to mention it while we were in the airport waiting on the Turo to pull up. And Kiana started looking up some stuff and seeing, she was like, yeah, let's do that, please. So we ended up straight from the airport Friday. We drove over to Canada, and had a good time out there. Just saw some stuff, ate some good chocolates, went to the mall there and stuff, and just spent the day there. And then Saturday went to Ohio. Well, actually Friday evening went to the Ohio. Went to the wedding. Sunday we had to fly back out through Detroit, and it was a super super late flight, and it had got delayed. So before that though, we went through sightseeing and stuff, and Detroit had some bomb wings at this place called Sweetwater Tavern. Man, it was a recommendation, and it was good. Did not disappoint. But yeah, had a pretty solid weekend. I'm just
Mm,
tired.
yeah, I hear that. Sweetwater Tavern, y'all. Have y'all been to Sweetwater Tavern before? Let us know in the chat. I heard you said the wings were good to get, right?
Yeah, bro. We walked in, and we had already decided we were gonna get the wings.
Yeah.
They have one flavor. It's called Sweetwater something. Um, but then like multiple people. I mean, it was people coming in getting the big boxes. It was people who was waiting. Somebody was eating them at the bar, and he was like, "Yo, these are the best I ever had," and I never been here before, so I was like, "All right, that's a good choice," and it definitely was.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Oh man. Well, listen
yeah,
here.
but
That
how was yours though?
I'm gonna get my mouth watering already.
No, it was good.
Yeah, man. Regards to the weekend, though, honestly, it was recuperating from the graduation. Our oldest graduated high school,
Hey,
and
hey.
that was that's eventful as well. I'm gonna do some more stuff for him as he looks to transition into adulthood. Pretty much, you don't got to go to high school no more, right? He's preparing
Mm.
for college, so it's a lot of things going on. But yeah, in regards to the weekend, I had some work things to do, so my Saturday was a little bit, but Sunday was better in regards
Mm-hmm.
to that. But really, the my weekend kind of starts July 3rd, and I'm glad that we have pretty much a 4-day week. And I was like, man, this is almost like back to back. If you think about Juneteenth, and then you think about this as well. And one thing that was said was a couple weeks ago when somebody was like, "Man, us getting Thursday off made everybody come back on Friday, like try to catch up on work and stuff like that." And then the fact that we have this Friday off made me want to talk about a topic that you brought, that you were kind of alluding to about being tired. I was like, is the 4 day week or 4 day work week the right move? Is the 4 day work week the right move? And I wanted to get your thoughts on that as well as the
It
audience.
is a good
Should we
question.
move in that direction to get a little more slumber, to get a little more time with our families and loved ones? The 4 day
That is
work
a
week.
that is a that is a good one, bro. I think for some companies, yeah. Um, and what I mean is like the culture. So the culture would have to change in order for that to work, you know. But if you got a hardworking team and y'all are getting after it, like Monday through Thursday, it can work. It's been proven. I mean, there are companies that definitely do it, and they got big bank. Okay, so but yeah, I mean, I would be down for sure. I think everybody would be down for it, but really, it comes down to the business. Like, do you got them folks that are gonna really, get after it for those 4 days to make up for that one? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Good morning. And we got Tech Coach Ralph in the building as well. Good morning, Tech Coach Ralph. Glad to see you on here and with us,
That's
rocking.
good.
I know you're gonna have a lot to say about this question here. And he says, "Happy Independence Day / week. Happy
Happy
Independence Day."
Independence Week, man.
Yeah, it's a lot of years that we, as a country, have been independent. So it means a lot when you think about
Yeah,
it.
man.
Yeah, but in regards to the question about the 4 day work week, ah, this has been a debate for so long. I like 4 days, and if you think, and the people that I've especially around the summertime, but I've also found in
Yeah,
general, depending on the stature of the employee, sometimes how many scheduled days they have. And actually, Technical Ralph says, I think it depends on the business. He says, I like a 4 day work week. I kind of reach out to different leaders in different verticals, and a lot of them take off that Monday, a lot of them take off that Friday. And so, in some ways, people already have built that into their schedule.
for sure.
That, hey, like, listen, it's Friday. I'm most likely not gonna be in here, or it's
Super
Monday. I'm
light.
coming back from a long weekend. So there's already this sort of like I don't say subconsciously, but unofficial 4 day week that a lot of people have that are in leadership or different roles. And I feel like depending on it, yeah, it might work. It might work. Does that affect how much pay people get? And that was a question that came up because this has been a debate for a while. We know that there's different countries. It's out some in Europe that really adopt this 4 day work week. And I was like, after you said you were tired, I was like, what would it feel like to have this Monday to rest a little bit more?
Ooh. Man,
What
it
would
would
it feel
feel
like to
like,
be like,
man, it would have felt like love. And normally, here's what's crazy. Normally, I do go ahead, like if I'm going on vacation or something, I do take off the Monday.
yeah,
I just forgot, but yeah, normally that is the case. Like without question, no matter where when I leave, if it's I don't even care if it's Monday through Thursday. I'm
yeah,
that next day I'm definitely taking off just because you feel a little different anyway. I don't know if it's because of the flying or because of all the activities you were doing.
yeah,
So I normally do that anyway. But yeah, I blew it this time. Um,
yeah, yeah. Tech Coach Ralph said, I'm laughing. He said, you just be tired on Tuesday. He says,
nah,
I was
nah,
gonna say
man.
this. I would say I disagree with that as well, especially if it's like purposely. Oh, this is the day to transition back to work, which I agree with. I don't feel as tired. I feel ready to get back to it. I feel that extra day sometimes that really good day to recuperate. You're about to say something about that too, right?
Nah, yeah, nah. I like that's one thing about me, man. When it comes to actual rest, I'm good on at getting it. Like even at
Mhm.
the short period, like I literally, I mean, I didn't get into bed till one something today, but and then we had that late flight, so I was definitely up and all that kind of stuff. But them little few hours that I did have, trust me, I got it. Like I get it. When it comes to food and eating, like eating and sleep, I get enough to be healthy and be good. I don't need the 17 hours and the drip feed. I don't need all that. Just give me enough to be healthy and gather strength. Same thing with food. Hey, I'm not trying to be gluttonous. Just give me enough to be healthy and gather strength. So now when it comes to the sleep, I'm gonna get it. I'm good. But yeah, I would have loved it today. But when we finish here, I'm gonna probably get another cat nap, and then maybe another one during the lunchtime, and then I'll catch back up.
No, I hear that. I hear that. And then Techo Trout says at the beginning, but if it becomes a norm, you'll live the Monday to the fullest. And I think
I I,
I hear
I
what you're
could see
saying.
people doing that.
I'm thinking about people that work overnight. There's some people that work overnight, but because they have to do certain errands during the day, they don't sleep. They just kind of go straight and
Hmm.
kind of try to do those
Hmm.
errands, and then they feel in their body. They
And
eventually feel in
that's
their body.
I ain't gonna lie. I think gotta look at the stat, but I think that them overnight workers, man, you do it for a super super long time, man. I don't think they have the longest lifespan.
Mm,
You know.
wow, that's definitely something we could dive into about working overnight for sure. But listen, y'all, if y'all enjoy the conversation of the show, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Thank y'all to those who subscribe to the show. We have bumped up to 862 subscribers, I believe. And since we started talking about it, so let's get that number to 900. Let's keep it rolling.
Run it,
Thank
run
you
it.
for, yeah, run it up, y'all. We appreciate you guys. We thank you. If we get to that 900 mark, we're getting closer to that goal. We're getting closer to that goal, and we have almost half the year left to get to that goal. So let's push it to the limit. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. They said that's awesome. Congrats. Yep. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. We are pushing forward for sure. We got a lot to talk about today. Nvidia, number one company. They've been the number one company, but what has grown and what has changed since the last time we talked about that? Also, we're going to be talking about Meta has a secret AI list of people that they're basically looking after. So again, this shows that AI is not slowing down. A lot of companies are going after it. However, we did get a warning from the CEO of Anthropic about companies laying off employees in scale to replace them with AI. And we're going to talk about all that today. But first things first, Nvidia knocking Microsoft off the throne. Let's talk about it. Let's dive deep into that story.
Yeah, man. I knew when you said you were gonna do this, and it was crazy. I had no clue because I've been um, moving around right all week, and so I had no clue about this. But I did know some stuff was going on because my alerts were going off. Like I was like, "Yo, what in the world is going on with Nvidia?" So I have the alert set up right. For the all-time highs. That way I know, hey, you know, don't put the money into this one this time because
Switch.
it's all-time high. You need to move that to somewhere else where it can make more sense. And then I have alerts for like 10% below all-time high, 20 and 30%, so that I know, hey, there's one you definitely need to be putting it in there because it make more sense. Well, anyway, the all-time highs for Nvidia was the alert was going off. I'm like, dang. I mean, it was a good dang though, right? But Nvidia is one of them ones. But anyways, I knew something special was going on. I didn't know that it was this. So now no, none of that is financial advice for sure. I'm just telling y'all like my setup on there. But glad you put that in the chat though, bro. But no, so Nvidia has now become the world's most valuable company, and it's really based because of the leadership, y'all. When you have a visionary in leadership that they have goals, they have big goals. It's always better when you can work for people like that. A mentor of mine put it like this. He said, if you're trying to work for somebody, you need to make sure that your goals can fit inside of theirs. Otherwise, you're in the wrong spot. Um, that being said, their strategic adaptation to the rise of AI has really made them get this done. And then you already know their innovation. As of June 2025, Nvidia's market cap, it reached 3.77 trillion. That's with a T. And that passed up Microsoft and Apple to get that number one spot globally. All right. So just for a little background, because y'all know everybody, they talk about Nvidia, but maybe we don't know how it started, all that kind of stuff. Just a quick founding, right? 1993 is when they came out. Ginseng Huang, Chris Mikowski, and Curtis Prim originally target the graphics card market for PC gaming. From there, in 1999, that's when they actually launched the GeForce 256, and they marketed it as the world's first GPU that revolutionized 3D graphics, and it established Nvidia as a leader in gaming hardware. All right, 2010, they saw some stuff. They saw, hey, we need to pivot a little bit. Some researchers found that Nvidia's GPUs, they were they were fire, and they worked well for training deep learning models, and because of their parallel processing power. When they saw that, right, I basically saw that Nvidia, they could see who was purchasing this stuff, and they're like, wait a minute, we're getting we're getting a lot of purchases over here. And so what they did was they capitalized on it by investing in AI specific hardware, and they launched the CUDA programming platform, which that gave developers the ability to harness the GPU power for a wide range of applications outside of just graphics. And then from there, they just didn't focus on just selling chips. They built the AI ecosystem. So hardware, software, developer tools, they just made it easier for employers and companies to deploy AI at scale. So now, their dominance in the data center hardware, ability to innovate ahead of all the competitors. Why? Because they got a visionary that's able to see it way ahead of time, and they can pivot instead of most companies where they just stay the same and then fall behind. And that's what's keeping them in the forefront of this tech industry at the moment, and obviously becoming number one. So right now, obviously they were facing some regulatory hurdles, like the U.S. restrictions on sales to China, but Nvidia's growth has still been soaring through the roof, and they're probably going to continue. Obviously, their product is in high demand, and so they're going to keep giving it to the people. So anyway, that's Nvidia. That's what's going on. They are number one, numero uno, right at the top of the top. So shout out to Ginseng Huang, man, doing your thing in them leather jackets, $7,000 leather jackets on stage, man. You got to tone it down a little bit.
Listen, first it was Steve Jobs with the black turtlenecks. It's the black leather jackets for Ginseng. But
yeah.
I'm gonna go to the comment section. We got Tech Coach Ralph, who says, when you think about all these data companies and AI companies that can just about only be powered off of Nvidia GPUs, it's pretty insane.
It's scary.
And so it makes sense for them to be valued so much because, right, we talked about it last week, the rise in AI data centers, how one of them is going to surpass the income of Palantir alone.
Yeah.
And just thinking about that and how that shift in this sort of economy when it comes to that, y'all, that might even be the new gold mine. We always talk about data being the new gold. That might be the gold mine right there. It's making that transition to that space. How do we get into that space? That's something that we definitely need to dive into more. But I just kind of agree with and one thing I wanted to also highlight is sometimes we talk about overnight success, right? And but if we go through that timeline, and I wanted to really show that they started in 1993. This company has been around for a very long time, and what they did was, like you said, they saw things and they adapted along the way. They shifted, and they're in a position where they're boom, here they are. You know, this wasn't a company that was founded in the 2020s or even founded in the 2010s. This was a company from 1993 that basically was focusing on chips and focusing on graphic processors, and then started realizing, oh no, we need to switch it up right now. We need to kind of move more close to the AI space in around 2012. And sometimes it shows that if you make the pivot at the right time, chances are you can really go be further than you can even imagine. Tech Coach Ralph actually says, and I'm gonna let you respond to that, but Tech Coach Ralph just said, I think Nvidia might be the most significant company to new entrepreneurs without them even knowing it. And I would love to hear what your thoughts are on that. Tech Coach Ralph,
Yeah.
elaborate. But go ahead, Trey, you gonna say something?
Oh no, I just put it in the comment section, bro. Like it's one of those things where you got what you were just talking about, like, hey, data, you know, and finding those companies. You got to look for the companies that are selling the picks and shovels. You know, when people were searching for gold back then, back in the day, the people who was making a killing were the people who were selling the picks and shovels to the people who were searching for the gold. Yeah, maybe you know, a few, you might get a little gold, or you know, maybe somebody hit it big, but them picks and shovels, folks, consistent. You got people traveling in from everywhere trying to get this gold. Hey man, you're gonna need some for that. I got you. Nvidia got them. Nvidia got them. So yeah, that's what I got to say about that.
Yeah, no, this is something that we definitely need to maybe even offline have a conversation about. You know, but definitely something that definitely need to think about it, because if you think about, okay, what do they need? They need land. That's one thing we are understanding. They need a wide way of rent land. There's different stipulations when it comes to that in regards to where they might have these data centers, and so all those different things kind of point itself to like, oh, this is something to look into. But Tech Coach Ralph says, think about all the AI tools you use in every aspect of your life. The infrastructure foundation is Nvidia.
See,
None of that is possible without their tech and development.
That's why I like Ralph, man. That's why I like Tech Coach Ralph. He understands. He understands that importance of what's up with Nvidia. Like this is why they. Hey, listen. While I was out of town, this is crazy, and I didn't even realize it. But while I was out of town, I was just thinking. I was like, man, you know what? I'm about to stop. I'm about to stop wearing a lot of these different. I'm only gonna be starting to wear clothes and stuff from companies that I'm invested in, because I want to make sure that I'm doing my stuff. So I was looking for some Nvidia hats, or at least some T-shirts and stuff, because you know, listen, man, I was like, I just need to start rocking the stuff I'm investing in. Where's my waste management jacket? I need that. I need I need my Nvidia hat, man. So anyway, yeah, I was searching this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not even mad at that, because they do sell their own apparel. Companies. It's all about just finding them and locating them. Listen, would you all do that as well? Would you guys invest in your Fruit of the Loom or other companies? Of course, Nike's easy because that's all apparel.
It is.
But the other ones, would you get your Meta hat? Would you get your
yeah, I want them to be like, hey man, you you work at Nvidia? Nah, I'm invested. I'm a part owner. I need all that. Give me my what is that? Give me my Cybertruck hat. I need that. Give it here.
I want Tesla. You heard it first, Tesla. You heard it first here, Tesla. Tech Coach Ralph says they're going to start selling Nvidia GPUs in the Walmart.
Oh man, golly!
Listen. It might be a black market for this stuff, right? He said, "LOL, my plan is to only wear my own merch. I'm working towards affording it, though." He says, "The price tag is a little too high. Yesterday's price, not today's price."
That's real. I've been working on that too.
You work at Nvidia? Nah, I own it. I mean, listen, that's boss conversations right there. That's boss talk for sure.
I mean, that's why I make sure I keep the Apple. You know, I'm gonna keep the Apple on me. But at the same time, you already know. I mean, y'all know I'm not just fully like I'm always keep something on the other side just so I know what's out there. I can't just be on one side and then everybody else killing it. But you
Yeah.
know, I'm gonna make sure uh we keeping them doors open and stuff. So go get you an Apple phone if you haven't. Go ahead and go and upgrade. You know, appreciate you.
Thank you for helping me help you. Oh no, yeah, absolutely, man. Listen, y'all, we definitely want to hear from you. What are your thoughts on the fact that Nvidia has gone to the heights that it's going, and it doesn't look like it's slowing down anytime soon, especially with the rise of AI and companies literally hunting people down who have the skill set. And we're about to talk about that in a minute. But before we get into that conversation, let us know in the comment section what your thoughts are, because we're going to jump into something before that. But he said, heads up, I'm going to send you guys a video after the show something. Okay, cool. All right, that was not to share, but that's cool. Man, we're gonna talk about it. But for sure, let us know in the comment section what are your thoughts on Nvidia and them growing in the way that they're growing. But right now, before we transition to the other segment, we're gonna go to the Tech Wire. Not to be confused with the Wire, but the Tech Wire is a segment powered by Black Tech Global, your premier directory for upcoming tech events, mixers, and everything in between. So we want to kind of share a few things that are on the docket that we have coming up this month, and also one event that I'm going to highlight for August. So if you are in the area or interested, you could get your pennies and you could put it together to get to this event. But first thing we're going to talk about, it's happening in DC July 5th. It's going to be in Washington, D.C. ChocolateCon is in the building. So ChocolateCon is happening in the convention that centers emancipation. It's happening actually July 4th to 5th. So that's this week. And you can check out your tickets here on the website. You could go to Washington, D.C. and see all that's going on and all that's going to be a part of this event. It's Howard that gets to the show. He actually is the founder of ChocolateCon, or he's one of the founders. He's right here. He's going to be at the event, so definitely check it out for yourself. It's happening July 4th to the 5th. Go to the website to check out the tickets. Again, blacktechglobal.com. You'll see a list of different events there, so you can check that out for yourself. Now we have the Network 216 Midtown Tech Mixer that's happening in Cleveland, Ohio, July 5th, and it's actually was canceled. There are other events though. If you go to the website, one that I'm going to talk about that's happening in Cincinnati, Ohio, and that is actually Black Tech Week. That's happening July 14th to the 16th. You can check out this is happening in Cincinnati, not Cleveland, but Cincinnati, Ohio. Base pays around 149 for this, but you can check it out. Kiki Palmer is going to be the keynote speaker speaking about innovations that are happening in the space, what she sees. There's different founders, investors that will be part of this as well. So listen, if you're if you want to get into the game here, check it out for yourself and see all that's going on in regards to this event. Again, this event is July 14th to the 16th. Definitely check it out for yourself. And last but not least, I'm going to go to this event right now, and I'm going to just share this as it's loading. But basically, we got the National Society, this National Sales Network Conference. It's happening in Las Vegas. Base pay is about $600 for that one. You want to check that out for yourself. This event has entrepreneurs and different people around the space that will be present. So if you are in sales and if you want to network with other people that are in sales, check it out for yourself because this is an event that you want to be a part of. It's gonna be happening in Las Vegas, Nevada. $600 for this event. So check it out for yourself. And that is it for this episode of the Tech Wire. Again, it's the Tech Wire. And it is the segment that's powered by Black Tech Global, blacktechglobal.com. Check it out for yourself. Go visit blacktechglobal.com for more. And right now, we're going to transition over to the conversation because we're talking about AI a lot, right? And we talked about Nvidia growing. Well, listen, there's some people that actually got a hit list in the most flattering way. And the hit list is about finding the right talent, and one of those companies is Meta. So we're going to talk about it right now. What is Meta doing to find the right talent when it comes to AI?
Yeah, bro. You know, it's crazy. You start to find out a lot of companies are only looking for the top talent, you know, and this company is no different. Like you said, Meta, they launched an aggressive high stakes campaign so that they can try and dominate the AI landscape. So this is marked by the creation of a secretive list of top AI talent and a mass hiring spree that's targeting the industry superstars. Yo, it's crazy. It's crazy. Mark, Mr. Zuckerberger. No, I'm just kidding. The CEO, all right, he's been quietly compiling a list called The List, which is a confidential roster of elite AI engineers and researchers considered to be the best in the field. This list includes individuals with rare, sought after expertise in the areas like multimodal vision language models, large scale machine learning, and automatic speech recognition. The big dogs. All right, I'm talking about they saying words you won't ever know in your lifetime. That's who we after right now. All right. So the company is offering unprecedented compensation packages, sometimes exceeding $100 million to lure in these experts, signaling the intensity of the current AI talent war. Y'all, that's what I was about to say. If he offering 100, that means somebody's saying 75. Somebody is saying 60, 50 million. They getting ball player contracts and not no regular football. I'm talking about they getting baseball contracts. Golly, $100 million. Okay. Meta, like I said, they dramatically ramped it up. The AI hiring. Recently, they poached at least 8 top researchers from OpenAI in a single week. 8 of them said, "Hey, I ain't gonna be here no more." 8 of them. And they're bringing in other high-profile hires from Google and leading startups. Notable recent recruits include Lucas Bayer, Alexander Kolonosk, and Zhou Huang Zai. All
I
right.
respect that. I respect that because I wouldn't have been that good.
From OpenAI, as well as Trapit Bansal, known for advanced AI reasoning. So y'all, he's going after the top of the top. Now, Meta's new super intelligence team, that's what they call them, the super intelligence team. That's a fire, like I know they got some fire merch for that. Is led by Alexander Wang, former CEO of Scale AI. Y'all, this is crazy. I just found out about this company 2 days. This was Thursday. Real quick, Scale AI, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That company, numbers, okay, doing numbers, and nobody knows who they were before another company. But anyways, there's 2 companies in that space. Yeah, you gotta know about that space. Researchers, big money, and they behind all of these companies as well. Tech coach route, all the ones that are using these LLMs, they behind a lot of that. Anyways, former CEO of Scale AI, after Meta acquired 49% of them of the company for 14.3 billion. But y'all, ain't gonna lie, he acquired Scale AI, but there's another one. Y'all gonna have to go and do your research on them. Even better than them. Even better than them. And they're even more off the map. Like I'm talking, the CEO ain't even on nothing. You can't find them nowhere. Anyway, the company has also approached other prominent AI startups like Perplexity AI, Runway, and Safe Superintelligence for acquisition of talent through although most of them declined. So they got a lot of people who said nah, and it's probably because of their compensation packages, right? They try and get that big payout from the company that they with. But at the end of the day, 100 M's.
Yeah.
Hey man, I don't know. But that's the thing about it. When you've been making goo gobs of money for years and years, the money is not the thing for you, which is why he has to throw out $100 million compensation packages, because it's more than that. Like I got Google, I got more money than I can spend. So it's got to be about what I want to do at that point. So Hopefully we all get there, y'all. This is why we looking at this stuff. This is why we entangled it. We're gonna get there one of these days, where can't nobody just come with $100 million offer and be like, no, I ain't thinking about it right now. Let me think about it.
Yeah.
And never come back. And never come back. Oh wow. Yeah, okay. So y'all, this hiring spree is a part of a larger strategic shift at Meta. Obviously, they laid off thousands of other people in other divisions and doubled down on AI for the core growth. So we see where they focus is, and it's not just them, obviously, but their urgency is really fueled by internal frustration over slow progress of its own Llama AI, those models. And so they need to keep the pace with OpenAI, Google DeepMind, Microsoft, Anthropic. Like these are other companies that are, leaps and bounds and killing it. So they got to keep up. And the good thing is Meta has money to spend. So they're investing up to $65 billion in AI in 2025 alone. And they're hosting mass interview days to rapidly expand the machine learning and AI engineering team. So y'all, they getting super aggressive with it, and they trying to get it. So the talent war is sparking some ethical debates. All right, which is really incredible and unprecedented. No, my bad. Yeah, it's sparking some ethical debates and raising the question about the concentration of AI expertise and resources within a few tech giants. So we'll see what that's about. But at the end of the day, people are knowing what they need to know so that they can, put themselves in position to be sought after, and it's working. So here's a quote from Meta CTO before I get out of here, Andrew Bosworth. He said, "The market is setting a rate here for a level of talent which is really incredible and kind of unprecedented in my 20-year career as a technology executive." So yeah, he been in there for 20 years. He been getting to the bag, and he ain't never seen nothing like this. $100 million contracts. Woo-wee.
Tell you, geez Louise. And the ability to say no. Let's go back to that.
I wanted to point it out.
The ability to be like, I'm good.
Yeah. Most people miss that part.
Yeah, it's all right.
That's a big deal, bro. That's a big deal. But like I said,
Yeah.
when you like Andrew Bosworth there, like you've been in technology for 20 years and you've been at the top of the game for 15, and you've been cashing in crazy salaries, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not, at that point, it's really not about the money. It's about what I want, my happiness. Is this where I want to, be? Is this how I want to work? Like, I've been a part of that grind. Do I really want to do that now? I got crazy money. Like, that's why I know I said this before, and I'll continue to say it because that's my dog. Not really, but, in my mind. This is why I respect what LeBron James does. You got to understand, this dude is a billionaire, and he's still playing at the top of the league, at the top of his game, taking it serious. Don't have to do that. You don't have to do none of that.
He could just retire tomorrow
and be good.
Yeah.
So that's what. But when you see these guys declining these $100 million contracts, it's because it's not about that anymore. So anyway, yeah, it's interesting, y'all.
Yeah, and I think it's been said for a while, but now I think the new sort of like proof that our things are really good or that we're moving in the right direction is the talent that you can poach. And I'm starting to see this from other companies as well. Like, oh, we poached X, Y, and Z who was X, Y, and Z at this company, right? And now you have a blog or you have some press release about that.
Yep.
Makes people look at you like, oh, either they were going the wrong direction, they're gonna turn the ship, or this is the boat that I might want to get on. And so that comes with a lot of different things as well. Let me go to the comment section real quickly because I know that Tech Coach Ralph put something in here before. He says I support the list because they will empower what we do. And he said it's the blacklist. Like it's the blacklist.
Yeah. Hey,
you gotta reach out to the guy. Hey, listen. Yeah.
Reddington. That's Reddington, man.
Reddington, yes, with the hat and everything. I have to keep watching it. It's been a while.
I know, right? I know, me too, bro. I used to tear that show up.
Yeah, that was always a good one. and his daughter being upset at him all the time. But yeah, and then he's Ted Coach Ralph said, "Imagine you get 100 M's and you don't have to kill your body, and your career doesn't last only 4.8 years, the average career length of NBA players," which is true. Like
Man.
there was somebody that I just saw in the NBA. I think it was Lonnie Walker the fourth. That
Oh yeah.
unfortunately he got cut. I was thinking like, man,
Mm.
how long was he in the league for? Did he get a chance to really show what he could do? And shout out to Lonnie. No, no, this is all love, but it hurts because you think about it. All your life, you're preparing for yourself to get into the league. You get into the league, and then you become that 4.8, and that
Yeah.
4.8 depends. Did you get to do all that you want to do in that 4.8? Maybe, maybe not. But that's it.
Yeah. Hopefully, Joseph is just frozen on my side. Is that the case, y'all? I don't even know. Uh,
And then you have to try.
until okay, there you go. I don't know. Well, until
Yeah.
you
So yeah.
okay, so while he's getting back together, I'll hop in. I think he's back. Joseph, you back?
I didn't even know I left.
Yeah,
Did I leave?
man. Yeah, yeah. You left, but you back. You were
Okay.
frozen. You hit the froze on real quick.
Oh,
Yeah, you was out of there, cooked. But you
freeze.
back. You back. Yeah, 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 yeah. You back.
Oh
But yeah,
yeah. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
you were saying something. You were saying something good, man. You were saying you were talking about how basically, did he get all of it out the 4.8? That's where you dropped off. Yeah.
I think
You don't even remember,
am
huh?
I yeah. No, I was saying
Yeah.
about like with Lonnie Walker and a lot of other professionals, they work their whole life, their entire life, or majority of it, is to get to this place, to become this professional. Let's use NBA basketball for now. They work the whole time, and then they only get 4.8 years to amass their wealth. Well, now it's a little bit longer with NILs. Back in the day, Lonnie didn't have NILs, so now they could get a good, if they do it right. There's some
Oh,
27-year-olds playing college basketball.
shoot,
Like
yeah.
this ain't there forever. But if
Bro.
they do it, let's say they're one and done, right? They're one and done. They do that 1 year. They know they get more money in the NBA. They could pull it out to like that 5 year mark. But either way, after the game is done, they have to stop, and their identity, everything is shut down. They have to reinvent themselves now, and then they have to kind of like
Which
push
most
people
don't.
forward. And yeah, most don't. And then what's the statistics? How many years? Like 7, 8 years afterwards, they're completely broke. That's probably being generous. Versus and when people are using their minds in this way, they literally just like can keep it going for as long as their mental capacity is there. So that's just kind of continuing on this point that Tech Coach Ralph made.
Yeah. Yeah. I think a lot of them too is just you mentioned a key word just a while ago, and it's big time. It's identity. They have a hard time switching that identity to something, and we're seeing more and more that do. Like Tech Coach Ralph mentioned about LeBron being a good businessman or excellent businessman, and most aren't switching to that side or while they're in the league, and because they are known for basketball, they don't want to do anything else or football or whatever else. And so they just sit there and the money is draining, but you still trying to maintain the same lifestyle when during the league you should have been pivoting and or not pivoting, but making sure you were setting yourself up, you know, for after the league. And so, yeah, I think a lot of them, though, they deal with the identity. Your whole identity is in basketball. And so, when you get that season or life-ending uh, injury, or you get cut for the last time, depression, anxiety, all that stuff seeps in, and
Yeah.
then you're frozen. So your identity got to be outside of that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely agree with that. And there's another point I wanted to make as well about just the poaching of talent. This was something that I saw going through LinkedIn. Was is the entry level SDR dead? That what came up, and at first I looked at
Mm,
it and I was like, what do they mean? And I've seen the trend for a while where a lot of people they're saying entry level, but they're looking for some experience to be attached with that. So entry
mm-hmm.
level in regards to getting into the company, but not entry level in regards to having the experience in the role. And so, with the question was, is that going to be the future for SDR roles, where it's like, no, we're just gonna let you poach, try to find people that have that experience versus saying we're gonna take somebody straight from college and let them kind of, kind of let them be the
Fiddle
first
around,
job. So I think there's still gonna be space for that, for the ones that
just
are not
less.
as competitive. Yeah, but which company, which sectors are going to be the ones that are really like, listen, we can afford to have somebody that doesn't know what they're doing and train them up. We need somebody from X, Y, and Z competitor or in this space in order to get them and then train them up and let them be the ones that are now selling our product. So,
Yeah,
or at least marketing in it. It's SDR, BDR. But yeah, it's a trend that we're seeing all around, and it leads into the next conversation, y'all, which is basically what Anthropic CEO said. And this is more or less in regards to how some companies are saying, hey, we like this AI stuff. It looks like it's making us more profitable, and we should probably get rid of the people that are working so that we can capitalize on it. But CEO of Anthropic, Dario Amodea, he actually made a comment about this. It was actually something, shout out to I believe it was on CNN. Shout out to them, but also other publications that talk about this as well. So I'm going to dive into this story. Basically, the CEO of Anthropic has issued a stark warning to companies and policymakers about the potential for AI, or artificial intelligence, to cause mass job losses, especially among entry level white collar workers. He predicts that AI could eliminate up to 50%, I'll say it again, 50% of all entry level white collar jobs within the next 1 to 5 years, aka the SDR, aka the other roles, right? Which could spike unemployment rates between 10 and 20%, levels not seen since the peak of COVID-19. Now, he also warns, Dario says, that it's notable for its urgency and candor that he has criticized both government officials and business leaders for being unprepared and unwilling to confront the scale of coming disruption. Listening to him talk about it, he basically was saying how, you know, AI is moving and progressing faster than we could have imagined. And his biggest concern is that people, employees especially, are not. It's moving so fast that people can't even feel that change. Like it's a whole, like, kind of go back to that global warming analogy about the frog in the pot. If you put a frog in hot water, he's gonna jump right out. But if you slowly turn that heat up over a period of time, the frog is gonna stay there, and eventually the frog's gonna die and boil because it doesn't feel that change. And he's saying that's what's happening with AI. The change is happening so quickly. So he urges that AI companies and governments need to stop sugarcoating the risk and start preparing for the possible mass eradication of jobs across sectors such as technology, finance, law, consult, law, consulting, and other white collar fields, particularly for entry level positions. Right. So he also, Dario says, has highlighted a likely scenario where CEOs will quietly stop hiring, and some are not that quiet. We've seen that already, and replace humans with AI as soon as it becomes viable, potentially unfolding almost overnight. So he believes,
golly.
yeah, he believes this is what he believes, and this is the CEO of Anthropic. So this is the person that's on the front lines of all of this. He believes most people are unaware of how quickly this transition could happen, and that both the public and policymakers are not paying enough attention to the risk. Where Dario is not advanced advocating for a halt of AI development, because that's his livelihood too. He emphasizes the responsibility of AI producers to be honest about the potential consequences. He calls for increased public awareness, policy solutions, and education to help workers, I like this, to adapt and navigate the transition. He stresses that there is still time to mitigate the worst case scenarios, but action must be taken now to protect workers and the broader economy. So, what are your thoughts on this in regards to the potential of mass firing and unemployment due to AI? And what do you think about Dario's thoughts? I agree with them, but I want to definitely hear from y'all. Let us know what you think.
Well, y'all know I for sure agree with him, and that's why no matter who I talk to, I don't know. I don't know if I sound like a broken record or if I sound like a conspiracy theorist or something. But I'm always telling people now, like, hey, you need to learn AI. You need to uh, look into AI in your space. You need to be messing around with AI in the industry that you're in or outside of it. Like you need to find something that you love and see about using the AI in that. Like
Yeah.
I, I'm always saying it out. Like I catch myself like, hey, I'm talking about it again. But I
Hmm.
think it's because I believe it is that important. Like when I see the stuff that's coming down the pipe or the stuff that is out at the moment, you know, um, all these coding wars between, Claude Code and all, like everyone who's doing something. Then you have these AI agents, and then now you have people who are creating instead of AI agents, they're creating AI like workforces, you know. So it's um, it's interesting when you see where hey, just a few last month it was an AI agent where, hey, I can have this one agent do this one thing, and that's cool. To weeks later, hey, actually, we have this agent do one thing, and then that triggers this one that does this one thing that triggers this and that to get your result. So behind the scene,
Yeah.
you have an army that's working, and they're all doing what they do best,
Yeah.
right? And that's all they focus on. So it's that's just in that spot though. It's all these different verticals where it's all going crazy, and people have no clue for the majority. Like
Mm.
most people have no clue that any of this is going on. They just found out about Chat GPT.
Yeah.
And so it's one of those things where to me it sounds scary, and I think that's why I talk about it so much, because it sounds scary to know, like, man, y'all don't know at all. Y'all haven't seen it. Y'all haven't tried. Y'all haven't looked at it at all. Or it's scary when that's my first thought. When they're asking a question, my first thought is, man, did you ask Chat? Like, did you even know? Ooh,
You're like, I mean,
brother,
listen,
brother,
Google has
brother.
Gemini now.
Ooh.
Google has Gemini now, so they probably thought that upgrade
Yo,
was pretty cool.
I mean, I would even take that. Like, I even downloaded, like, I got Gemini too. I want to try it all out. But, I'd be good with that. Try it, do something. But if you
Yeah.
haven't, if you haven't even thought about it, brother, ugh.
Yeah, it's getting to the point that you have to at least dabble. And you're right. Like I was surprised. I went to a party or something like that sometime last week, and when I heard, so I shared what I do, and that conversation came up, and the person when they described AI and their point of view to me, I was like, oh wow, people really don't know. So I was like, I'm assuming that being in this space, us talking about it all the time as well. Like I just because of where the world I am, I'm assuming that everybody has a level of understanding of AI, but there's some people that do not, and it's very apparent. And it's like, okay, do I take the time to educate this person on it? Do I have the time to do it, or should I be like, listen, you need to check it out for yourself?
Nope.
And it's just kind of like one of those things where it's just like,
Yeah.
man, like you really don't know that people don't know what they don't know. And so even like my mom, like even like that population, like that remind me, I kind of did like a quick tutorial for my mother-in-law, but I gotta do another one for her. Gotta do one for my mother, but like kind of like just the introduction to ChatGPT. Here's what it is, and it kind of blows their mind once they kind of dive into it, but then also it scares them, so they may not dive into it without their hand being held. So it's that another generation that can really benefit from it. um, and then I realized that there's a generation gap as well, and I'm like, man, will I be this way when I get to that age as well? Well, I'm like,
Maybe not.
so maybe
Maybe
not,
not.
because
Because the reason why, bro,
go ahead.
the reason why I say that, this weekend at the wedding, or not at the wedding, but you have festivities outside of it and all that stuff. I was eating breakfast with like some uh 70 and 80-year-olds, or 70-year-olds,
Mm,
70-year-olds. And this was the conversation I was having with them. And I mean, they were in agreement. They were like, yo, yeah, you gotta know what's going on. You need to learn what's happening, because otherwise you fall way behind. And maybe it was because one of them was in the Navy for like 20 years, 25 years. So he's seen a lot of
mm,
early, like he was like, they were testing out like self-driving stuff in the 80s.
wow.
But anyway, that's a whole other thing. Right. But he was like, talking about when they got some of the first computers and all that kind of stuff. So like, maybe that's
Mm,
why, because he was immersed in that early on, so he
yeah,
understands the implications if you don't,
yeah.
versus somebody else who just had, hey, I worked at GM all my life. I never even thought about any of this stuff, so I didn't
Mm,
have to. And then next thing you know, you can't even turn on your TV because I don't know. You don't want to know.
yeah. Oh man, let me go to the comment section real quickly because Techno Ralph has been going in
Tearing
right
it up.
now.
What do you got?
Yeah. He said if I was your job, I'd be setting up AI agents left and right to make more connections for me and all the other stuff y'all do. Well, listen, I definitely have used, I'll go into too much detail. I have definitely not used agents because my job has some strict policies about certain things that we can and cannot use. But I have used what we can use in the AI
Yeah,
space for my workflow to be efficient.
and you probably
And I
should.
tell you, it has doubled my output in a lot of different areas for sure. So you're not, and I know it's different for me than for you, but yeah, that's my experience thus far.
Same. Like, there are a lot of companies who they want you to use it. Matter of
Mhm.
fact, it's imperative for you to use it. If you do
Yeah,
not use it, you are gonna get
you are
cut.
the weakest
Cut.
link.
Yes.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Yes. Literally. I don't want to say cut, but yes, you are going to get cut because it's imperative now. Like, you need to.
You can't
So
keep up if you don't.
yeah.
You can't keep up. He said so many people I know I haven't tried AI yet, especially to ask help for their specialities. Yeah, that's true. That's true. And then he said over the weekend I did a vibe coding meetup in a Patreon building some apps. I wanted to go on to the comment down here in regards to I use Manus AI. Shout out to Manus. Worked on that this weekend as well to create a detailed marketing plan for someone's well that they're drilling in the organization in Haiti using Manus in like 15 minutes. That thing been working for a while though, but it be coming out with some stuff. And he's been waiting 5 years to find someone to do it for him. I didn't mean to laugh. I'm
Bro,
sorry, but that's
that's
the
cold.
reality of AI.
That's cold, man. That's cold.
15 minutes, 5 years.
And that's the thing, right? You talking about something that, hey, I'm gonna make sure I find the answer for you. I'm gonna search this web. I'm gonna click on websites. I'm gonna go through their website. You got something to fill out, and it knows the information. It's
Mm.
gonna give you the details on, hey, this is what you put here. This is what you should put here. This, using the information that I know, this is what you should put here in this slot. Like, it's crazy. Oh Lord, that's hilarious.
Oh, that's if y'all didn't see, he said, "Oh my bad, that was from my dad. I made it for." No, but that's still impressive. Like if we think about it, this day and age, you can create your own business in less than 24 hours. Website, everything, without LLC, of course. You want to take time for that, but like all those like stuff, like, hey, listen, I want to do this service with X, Y, and Z people, you can turn around a business in a couple of days, and then sky's the limit.
Bro,
You could like this is like a business that you could help SMB and you can be sitting on that, and you're good. That's all you do,
bro, bro.
I'll make your marketing plan. How much days? I'll give you like 2 or 3 days.
Yeah, I
15 is
mean
good.
yeah. That's just to that's just to make it legit. It took me 15. Take me 15, maybe another 5 to polish it up. But I mean, bro, it's one of those things where in a couple of days you can have what you need, and it will keep track of it for you. You
Yeah,
know, um, yeah, this stuff is crazy. This
yeah,
stuff is crazy. Like I'm talking, you need investors. You can have something like Manus. You say, hey, give me a full list of all the I don't know.
and
I'm
reach
not
out
even
to
gonna go
them,
into it. I'm not even gonna go. Yeah, yeah,
and reach out to
yeah,
them.
yeah,
It can send messages on your behalf. Like
yeah.
it's insane.
It's an
Uh,
assistant. Uh,
yeah,
like I mentioned before, we're in the area now where you have the PhD plus plus in whatever space you wanna or you're in. You
yeah.
have that at like right there.
Mm.
Yeah, I know Tech goes route. That's why I had to stop. I had to like, wait a minute. I'm giving too much sauce that y'all that because and here's why. It's not because I'm afraid to give it to y'all. When you don't pay attention. So that's why Tech Coach
Yeah, that's
Ralph
true.
said that's Patreon level game, because on Patreon you gotta pay for that. When you
Listen,
don't pay, you don't pay attention.
maybe we may need to create one. And let Trey go crazy in it because he got some stuff he would definitely share with y'all. For sure.
Yeah,
Um, and-
I'm talking about in what 5 days? 5 days I made the whole nonprofit and everything. Everything's legit.
yeah,
Everything went through because
see,
I never created a nonprofit. LLCs, hey, I got you. Nonprofit, I don't know that space. I just start putting in everything I
yeah,
needed. Say, hey, go to this website, put in this information. I didn't put in the information right, so I got declined. But they tell you what's wrong. Screen, hey, this is what I got back. Oh, I see what you did here. These don't match.
yeah.
Say this, say this. Put it in. Approve the next day. I need the marketing plan. Hey, I need an executive summary so that I can send it around so that I can make
Oh, we're
sure I
giving
get
out too
funding.
much. We're giving out too much right now.
I'm just
Joy,
saying.
take back Trey's Patreon for more. He's
That's
got a whole
hilarious.
class on it.
That's hilarious.
He's got a whole 7 lessons on this.
That's hilarious.
Techo Draw said we got to do an exclusive video talk about this stuff.
Yeah, hit me
Uh,
up anytime. Anytime, bro.
yeah,
Anytime.
and that's true for anybody here. If y'all wanna hear about some of the stuff happening behind the scenes, especially with Tech Back Trade and all of his endeavors, definitely reach out. I got a lot to show y'all. Listen, we believe it. We believe it.
For sure.
And listen, if you guys want to connect, definitely connect. I'm going to throw out this real quick here in regards to this brown box special because we haven't done one in a week.
Hey, I know, right? Because of
It's a
stuff like this.
yeah, we're having good conversations. So, but we'll keep it nice and short though. In
Yeah.
regards to this brown box special, this is credit to Reddit. So thank you so much for this real quickly. But there was a lady at my place of unemployment that robbed a bank on her lunch break. Sounds like a movie. It sounds like a movie that I just saw. Then parked the car in the garage. Yeah, then parked the car in the garage of a hospital across the street and came back to work like nothing happened. Unfortunately, she forgotten to take off her ID badge before the robbery, so the cops came to the building and arrested her by the end of the day.
Bro.
Bro,
Like you can't make stories like that. You can't make that up, bro. Like this is real and crazy. First of all, and this is the thing, y'all be acting like women don't be doing that. Look at that. Look at that.
how you rob a bank with your ID on?
Forgot about it. Forgot about it.
And go back to work. You didn't make enough money from the robbery.
Probably did. Got to make it look legit. You know, you got to make it look. Hey, I mean, I know people who
Yeah.
have left on their lunch break and didn't come back. But yeah, you gotta make that look legit. You gotta have an alibi.
Too legit to quit. Mm. Too legit to quit.
No, that was crazy.
Yeah, that was nuts. Listen, if you have any nut stories like that, feel free to let us know in the comments section. We might actually feature it in one of these episodes. So let us know in the comments section. In fact, from now on, if you watch a show after the live and you want to post a funny story or somebody getting fired, let go, something of the sort that you know of, let us know in the comment section. We'll feature it. We'll bring it up on the next episode. Just let us know. And yeah, this has been a great one. Thank you so much for rocking with us again. This is Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world, baby. We'll see y'all next week.
yes, peace and elbow grease.